Remember Las Vegas Raiders head coach Josh McDaniels' first stint as a head coach in 2009 with the Denver Broncos? The first thing he did was badly mismanage his quarterback situation. He had Jay Cutler, who threw for over 4,500 yards and went to his first Pro Bowl in his year 3. But all McDaniels could do was talk about Matt Castle, whom he had in New England. But McDaniels never got Castle, had to trade Cutler, and started 6-0 with Kyle Orton at quarterback. Then went 5-17 over his next 22 games and was fired. When he first became the Raiders head coach, he said he learned about managing people from all that and acted as if that's all he needed to learn. Well, not only is that not all he needed to learn, but he's still learning how to manage players. After the Raiders win in Denver, McDaniels spoke of the players learning how to win close games, but McDaniels is the one learning how to win close games. Those New England Patriots teams won a lot of close games because of Tom Brady. Many of them came before McDaniels even became the offensive coordinator, so let's not give McDaniels too much credit. He was just the man next to the men, Brady and Belichick. As a head coach, he was 4-7 in one-score games coming into this year. And let's not take credit away from quarterback Derek Carr and the Raiders. They were 7-2 in one-score games last year, and Carr was 39-25 in such games over his career up to that point. In their first 6 one-score games with McDaniels this year, the Raiders were 0-6. McDaniels and the Raiders then finally broke through in a one-score game in Week 11 against the Denver Broncos. Then Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks, McDaniels and the Raiders won another one to make it back-to-back wins in one-score games. All the talk about the players needing to learn how to win is nonsense. McDaniels needs to learn, and he is learning. One thing you could tell is McDaniels' sphincter gets a little tight in key moments. He tries too hard to make his call make the difference, so he gets too cute. On 3rd and 1 late in the first half, he called his own stretch, which isn't very good in short yardage, and it failed. With 8:55 left in the fourth quarter, game tied at 27, he called an outside toss on 4th and inches and lost yards. The Seahawks couldn't stop Jacobs going straight ahead all day, and McDaniels wants to go sideways. He has one of the biggest, most physical offensive lines in the NFL, too. Carr has always had a feel for what to call in key situations. Of course, we all still remember the play he checked into when he threw the game winner to Zay Jones on opening day last year. He doesn't always try to play hero either. He checks in the runs, too. You could tell he checked into a better run in overtime on Sunday. It even looked like he pointed out the linebacker for fullback Jakob Johnson to block, and there's no arguing with the result of that play. We'll take it every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Perhaps it's time to give Carr some freedom at the line of scrimmage. As for Josh Jacobs,
yeah, he's like I don't know, I'm running out of superlatives. He over 300 total yards in the game, and he wasn't, didn't feel perfect, but. He just, I think toughness, he's a football player. I mean, that's probably the greatest compliment I could give him. And, he comes up big with, he had a couple of big first downs on 3rd and short that, like, I'm not sure everybody in the league gets those, but he did. And, of course, makes the big play at the end. But I thought he was tremendous throughout. Gave us a lot of hard yards in the running game, caught the ball well out of the backfield, makes some big plays with his hands. And, but that's JJ. That's what he is.
You were aware of him when you were in New England, but were you aware of this?
Not to this extent. You don't ever get to know somebody this well, unless you're with them, and coaching them. And I just have an incredible admiration for. It's not just what he does on the field; it's how he practices, what he does in preparation, how attentive he is in the meetings, what he's like in the walkthroughs, how much he wants to win. He wants to win, and that's the greatest compliment you could give somebody. Does everything he can to help us.
Wow, see how highly McDaniels speaks of Jacobs now? I'm not sure you watched a film of Jacobs literally run the Raiders into the playoffs last year, though. He declined Jacobs' 5th-year option and brought Brandon Bolden and Amir Abdullah in free agency and drafted 2 running backs. You don't do that when you have plans for him. McDaniels didn't even treat Jacobs like a returning starter in the preseason. He treated Bolden like that guy, not giving him a single snap this whole preseason. Meanwhile, Jacobs took snaps in the Raiders' first preseason game, but he looked so good McDaniels hurried up and got him out of there, and he got no more. But even then, McDaniels didn't get Jacobs going to the 4th game of the season when slot receiver Hunter Renfrow and tight end Darren Waller started getting injured, and receiver Devontae Adams started getting double and triple teamed. Now the Raiders are trying to sign Jacobs to an incentive-laden contract, but Jacobs, who says he wants to remain a Raider, wants to see what he's worth on the open market. McDaniels mismanaged this situation badly, but we'll see what happens. All that being said, I do not want McDaniels fired. I think he's going to be good. He just has a lot to learn, but most of what you learn is on the job. And winning back-to-back one-score games is a huge step in the right direction. So let's see where it goes from here. Thank you for watching. See you next time.